When people think of martial arts, the first thing that comes into their minds are the martial arts of the Far East. Films and video games have brought Oriental martial arts from Japan, China, and Thailand into popular culture. Little do people know that martial arts also exist in the West. Historical European martial arts, also known as HEMA, have been around since the times of the Greeks and the Knights. And the term martial art itself is European, which translates to the art of Mars or the way of Mars, the god of war. So far, only modern boxing and modern wrestling are the only Western combat styles that people recognize. But there are hundreds of other European martial arts, those that still survive and those that were revived through historical research that have started to regain popularity. And this included fighters who have used Western martial arts in competitions and tournaments. The first person on our list is Joe Joyce Jr., an Irish gypsy fighter who is known for using classical pugilism. Joyce is both a professional bare-knuckle boxer and gloved boxer who fought by using the traditional Irish fighting stance, the stance that many old-time pugilists back then used. You might recognize it as that boxing stance where the fists are forward, the upper body arched back a la fisticuffs. The Irish fighting stance that Joyce used allows him to keep his opponent at bay with his long arm, protect him from clinching or grappling while peppering them with jabs and hooks. The Irish fighting stance may be funny and comedic in the eyes of today, but Joyce is a clear example that traditional boxing stances are not yet dead in modern-day fighting. The second fighter on this list is the French fighter François Pinacio, a professional kickboxer trained in Savate. Savate is Europe's most well-known kickboxing martial art, born from the streets and boats of French gangs and sailors. It combined high and low kicks with punches from British and Irish bare-knuckle boxing. During his youth, Pinacio became a champion in many Savate tournaments. In the second half of the 20th century, there had been a rise in popularity of kickboxing, and many martial artists competed to show off their combat styles such as karate, taekwondo, and Muay Thai. Pinacio also decided to compete using his training and experience in Savate. Pinacio blew away the competition, using Savate's speed and timing to dominate both Muay Thai fighters and Dutch kickboxers. He once TKO'd a foreign Muay Thai fighter named David Hergold and scored a victory against the legendary Dutch kickboxer Ramon Dekkers. Besides stand-up striking, HEMA also includes various grappling and wrestling arts. Although not as good as the previous two fighters we mentioned, Italian fighter Michele Berginelli became known in the martial arts community for promoting Calcio Fiorentino, an old Italian game which is similar to football and rugby, but also includes combat like strikes, grapples, and tackles. As a down and brutal Calcio player, Berginelli would later use his martial art together with standard MMA training to compete in professional fights. Berginelli had a mixed fight record with 19 wins and 11 losses, which isn't bad knowing that he started in the late 90s and still continues fighting today. The next fighter on our list is Igor Krostin, an MMA fighter of the Latvian Pankration team. Pankration is considered by martial arts historians as the earliest form of what would become known as mixed martial arts. In 648 BC, the Greeks decided to combine both their boxing and wrestling arts into one solid martial art. Pankration is a combat style that combines both punches and kicks, with grabs, throws, and slams, as well as hair pulling and other dirty tricks, but it's primarily known for its brutal ground and pound and submissions. It is the martial art that the Spartans and Alexander the Great used. While Krostin has had a mixed fighting record, earning over 6 wins and 3 losses, he has found success in team-based MMA fights, such as TFC. The last one on our list is considered as one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. Randy Couture is the pure definition of the term badass. The guy is a retired US Army sergeant, a wrestling champion in his youth, and a UFC Hall of Famer. Many of his victories was possible with the use of his catch wrestling, a grappling style and combat sport developed in Britain circa 870 by G.J. Chambers. It combines many forms of British grappling such as Cornwall, Lancashire, and Irish wrestling with cross-training with Japanese Jiu-Jitsu to produce this grappling art filled with slams, takedowns, and of course, submissions. Couture used it to great effect against his fights with fellow legendary MMA fighters like Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, and Josh Barnett. So this is the list of some of the most well-known and documented HEMA fighters of today. Though some of them are not the best, they have shown the martial art communities that their styles are capable of faring well against pressure and competitions with other more popular martial arts. Hopefully we will see more unarmed HEMA fighters in the future, but today I hope you learn that martial arts is not strictly Eastern, nor is Western fighting just purely about swords and halberds.